Hi, this is Mrs. Nicosia. Mr. Corvo and I wanted to put together a quick video to share with you how our class is designed to give you a better understanding of what the students are expected to do and do on a daily basis, what they see, and the overall process. In addition, we wanted to give you some information and some tips and suggestions as to how you can best help your son or daughter with moving through our class and help to monitor progress. So I wanted to start off by showing you the Google Drive accounts that the students have. So there's two main folders for biology students in our class. The first one is their personal Google Drive folder, which you can see up here on my screen. So I happen to make a fictitious account for WWP biology student, and I just happen to make the student honors bio, but it could say A bio as well, and then their period number. So this is their Google account where they submit work to us. Sometimes it can be handwritten documents, but for the most time we encourage them to do electronic documents. And hopefully they have something set up similar to this where they have Unit 1, Unit 2 documents, and then their Quest documents or notes or whatever they have in their folder. These are shared with us, so anytime they drop anything into this folder, Mr. Corvo and I can have access to it to leave them feedback. The other folder that students have is either an academic biology folder or an honors biology folder, and this one's shared with them. So when they click on their honors biology folder, they'll see a myriad of things, including each unit of study. We have a copy of a weekly planning calendar, which we give the students to help them organize their to-do lists and make a plan for each week that they're in class and for homework and on the weekends. We also have a Quest review sign-up form, the response sheet, so they could see their name on the list, their timestamp, and how many people are ahead of them, so to speak, for that Quest. The sample newsletter, which is the template for our class ambassador to send out every 2 weeks. So that's an overall view of what they see. To begin a particular unit, a student would make a KWL. So I'm just going to happen to go into evolution and diversity. So under their Quest, so when they go to each unit of study, you'll see a couple of things. You'll see a knowledge acquisition folder, a Quest folder, and then a letter to the students. The letter to the students is sort of the beginning of a unit. And what you have here is all the information that as it pertains to the unit of study. So we tell them how long it approximately will take. We tell them each Quest that they need to do, the learning objectives that are hit in each Quest, and again approximately how long each Quest itself should take to complete. So all of that is there in their letter, including their unit problem. So the first thing that they're instructed to do is to do a KWL. So if you look back in the Quest document, you'll see start here, Unit 4, KWL. You'll also see their other Quest items. So we're going to start with the KWL. And they're supposed to read the information here, and for all the other previous units they should be familiar with making a KWL as it pertains to their unit problem and the learning objectives. The idea of a KWL is for them to really reflect on the learning objectives and come up with an idea of what it really means. What is the information, what are they going to be studying, and how does it pertain to the unit problem? So they do that first and foremost, so you can see some of that information here. We tell them here the learning objectives and kind of make sense of what they mean. Once they make their KWL, they sit down for a pre-assessment, and these are a series of multiple choice questions that are around these knowledge-based learning objectives. The knowledge-based learning objectives really just mean the content. What is the content they're going to be studying? So I pulled one up on the screen. I happened to take a picture of one. So you can see on our standards-based grading form, we have the knowledge-based learning objectives at the top here, and our skills-based learning objectives, which are really the focus of the class. Those are the verbs. What do we want the students to be able to do with the information now that they have it? So you can see we check off based on their pre-assessment their current level of understanding, because we recognize that students come from different sort of backgrounds of information from 8th grade, from enrichment classes, from their like of a particular subject area in biology. So we know that they're going to come with different levels of knowledge. So we expect that they fill this out, and then they get an outline for content for the unit, And then from there, we hope that they would go to the knowledge acquisition folder. So then they'll go to the knowledge acquisition folder, which is here. And then from here, they're going to, decide sort of, there's two approaches. One is to do, take the first week or two and do all the knowledge acquisition right off the bat. Another approach is they do knowledge acquisition as it pertains to each quest. So either option is fine as long as they're doing the knowledge acquisition. So for example, if I was going to start off with maybe doing the History of Life on Earth quest, I would click that. And you could see that there are some biozones, there's some textbook readings, and there's some videos and links. Natural selection, the same thing. So it depends on the particular topic. We may have some supplemental readings here. There may be some practice worksheets, as you can see in this folder. Some of the topics don't lend themselves to having some practice worksheets, as we just sort of hit on those topics briefly. Others we do. So you can see we have videos and links worksheet, videos and links. So you can see we put together some videos that we approve as good ways to get some content. In addition, we always post our mini lectures that we do. These are formal mini lectures as opposed to the informal ones that happen on a daily basis. So you can see here we have the mini lectures we record so students can watch those as well. And then we have other links as well, like simulations, simulations and additional questions. So it depends on the topic. We'll have a variety of things for the students to do. So that's the knowledge acquisition. Then when they're done with that, they can go to the quest and start the quest documents. So they decide on the quest they want to do. Again, we've put forth a reasonable list of how we would approach doing the quest. It doesn't mean they have to do it in the same way, but if they wanted to start with the History of Life on Earth, they open up the document and then they look at what the learning objective is. And that's really important because that's going to focus their attention on what they really need to do in this quest. So in this particular one, it's use claims or data and reasoning to construct a scientific explanation for the history of life on Earth. And then we give them sort of a series of tasks to do, and then their overall tasks that they have to perform. And once they complete their Prezi, or whatever tool they decide to use for this particular quest, they would go and sign up for a quest review. So then they go back to the main page here, and then they go to a sign-up form. And basically the sign-up form is a way for us to know that they're ready to be reviewed. They're ready for feedback. So in other classes, it would be handing something in. So that is the sign-up form. And then once they sign up, they go on a list, and they can actually see the response list posted here. So you'll see here it gives you a timestamp of when they turn something in. It gives them the assignment, so we can move here to Unit 4 things, Unit 3. So this is the sign-up list. And then once they sign up, the process then turns to feedback. So after they hand an assignment, Mr. Corvo and I read through the documents as we get them, and we give detailed feedback, things that we see, things that we don't see. And then from there, we have a conversation with the students in class where we sit and do the evaluation process. During the evaluation process, and I'll just pull this checklist back up because I have it here, you can see on my screen, during the evaluation process, when we check them off for the the skills-based learning objectives for each of the levels, and as evidenced by which comes from our feedback. After we do the initial evaluation, the conversation might potentially then move toward the remediation. How do we remediate moving forward? And of course, all those conversations are going to be different depending on the level of proficiency, the attempt number, and so on. So then we talk about remediation, and then the student can move forward with doing the remediation, re-sign up, get the feedback, and then do a re-evaluation if they choose to do so. So that's sort of an overall process of how the class is designed and how it works. Again, the focus is on the feedback for learning and remediation to continue learning, but also to get the right knowledge acquisition. We hope that they do the knowledge acquisition at home, and they could do the quests or problem solving in class, so that we're there to help them guide their learning, answer questions for them, and so on, as to be mentors for that. So some ways that you can monitor student progress. We have information on our website. When you go to our website and go to parent information, now if you scroll all the way down on our website, you can see we have suggested timelines here of dates to completion. Some of the students added some since they are able to edit our website with information. But if you go down to some of the information we posted from our back to school night, we have some of our due dates. So we have a frequently asked question sheet that we handed out at the beginning of the year, and at the end of it you can see these important due dates for when suggested units should end. So for example, we're coming up on our February 28th, which is the suggested end date of Unit 4, and we have our suggested end date of Unit 5, and then Unit 6, and then of course the end of the year. So we have all of those dates there. The students are aware of them. They're posted on our website, and they're in class. And then from there, again, 6 weeks per unit, we should budget the time. And we have been sitting down with students to make schedules and to-do lists. And you can see in their folder, they have a sample of a weekly planning calendar, which we've put together for them to help organize moving through our class, what their to-do list is. So that's how you can help monitor their progress. In addition, Infinite Campus shows progress, but it doesn't show proficiency. So what we suggest is that keep the line of communication open. So once you see that the progress is being made on Infinite Campus, so once you see that they've turned something in on Infinite Campus, that's our progress, you should definitely start the conversation with, I see that you turned in your ecosphere. What is your proficiency toward that? So you can see, the proficiency here might be, they can say mastery or proficient or developing or beginning, and then as evidenced by what did they do, what didn't they do, and then if they weren't happy with the proficiency, you may want to ask them, so what is the plan moving forward with the remediation? So that's the best system that we have for now, since Infinite Campus isn't set up the way that works really best for our grading policy, but it's a good way to get started. In addition, you can certainly email us to get pictures of their standards-based grading forms, or we can scan them and email them to you. The students are also encouraged to take pictures of them to send home to continue to monitor their progress. So I hope this was really informative. I hope you've got a lot of information. Please continue to reach out to us via email if you have any questions or concerns. We also invite you to observe our class at any time to see the system and how we have it designed in action. Please email us to make arrangements in the morning to observe the class if you're interested. Again, thank you so much for watching our presentation. If you have any questions, let us know.